Hello everybody, welcome back to Commonwealth Picker. My name is Kevin and we are in the eBay cave today, and I decided I'd wear this Cincinnati Picker shirt just to say thank you to John. I know so many new viewers came over from John in the last 7 days or so, and I just want to say thank you to you, John, and I want to say welcome to all of the viewers that did come over from John, Cincinnati Picker. And let me tell you, he's just a terrific guy. He's been nothing but kind to us and to our program, and we thank you so much. And by the off chance that I have one or two viewers who don't know who Cincinnati Picker is, you got to go check out his channel. Maybe my grandmother, maybe you're not subscribed to Cincinnati Picker. So Mumsy, why don't you go over there and subscribe to John? Because most of you, 99.9% of you, know who John is, and you know he's a terrific guy. So thank you, John. We appreciate it. And hey, if you did come over from John, and you came over in the last 7 or 8 days or so, leave a comment below and let me know so we can welcome you to the show and get you used to what we do down here. You know, we're in this cave. It's kind of, I don't know what y'all see in the videos. I don't move around too much. I've done a couple of tours through the videos. Maybe it's time I do another one here. But it's about 9 feet wide by maybe 16 feet. So it's a really small space, and we do quite a bit of business out of here part-time. I'm a full-time history teacher. I teach high school history, and I come down here every night in the cave and spend an hour and a half, 2 hours, and we make enough money to make ends meet without having to get a second job, without having to teach summer school and those kind of things. So that's what we do here, and hopefully we get to know you as you get to know us. But there are a couple things I did want to talk about today. We shoot for about $200 in sales a day. Since I am part-time, if we can have $200 a day in sales, and it depends on what sells, you know, that could mean anywhere between, you know, $60 profit and $140 profit, just depending on the particular items that we sell. We don't live in an affluent area, so we sell all kinds of stuff, crazy stuff, stuff that we make $2 on, stuff that we make $200 on. I've had to develop skills of trying to pick all kinds of different things, and I'm constantly wanting to learn. So if you see something that I can improve on, hey, leave something down below, and I can learn from you, as hopefully you learn a little bit from me. All right, first thing I want to talk about is I got another return. I think this is my 6th return from Q4, which, I mean, we sold 800, actually we sold more than that. We sold 800 items in November and December. So we're well over 800 items for Q4, and this is the 6th return. So we're well under 2%. If I'm under 2%, I'm pretty happy. And so we're probably closer to just over 1%. And we may have 1 or 2 more, but this was an interesting one, I thought, because this one, it was brand new, Spider-Man, Blu-ray, and it's still in the plastic. And I didn't even sell it for much. I think it was like, I don't know, less than $9, let's put it that way. And they just returned it, and they said that they changed their mind. And I'm like, okay. You know, and this is why I offer returns. They happen so infrequently that it's worth it. And I'm not losing much money on this thing, paying the initial shipping and all that. I'm not losing much at all. So I'll resell it, and I'll end up making a tiny little profit off of 2 transactions instead of making a little bit more off of 1. But this is the kind of thing, it doesn't irk me. You know, a lot of times people will rent DVDs from you. And that's actually what I thought was going to happen here. But when this came back, I thought it was going to be rented. I thought it was going to be opened, watched, and turned back to me. That's happened one time on a new DVD before, and this is a Blu-ray. You can't sell too many DVDs anyways. So it's happened one time before, but it hasn't happened in a long time. And I have had a couple of DVDs returned. I had a cassette returned not too long ago, where it's possible people are renting things from you and sending them back. But, you know, the reality is people don't go through the hassle of sending something back, even if they're not satisfied with something. So your returns really, if they're over 2%, you're probably doing something wrong. Not always, I don't want to say that, but on occasion, if they're over 2%, you know, you're selling some riskier items. And I've heard people talk about returns as high as 3 or 4%. And if you're selling a low volume of things, and if you sell 30 things a month and you get a return, you're certainly over 2%. So it just depends on how many. But we sell quite a bit out of this little cave in here. And we're about ready, by the way, I don't think I mentioned this, we're about ready to move into our expanded Commonwealth cabin outside, which is a little bigger than this. It's 12 by 24 with a porch, which I have no idea why we got the porch, except for my daughter wanted it, so there you go. I wanted to ask you out there, how many times have you had an item, if you sell media, have you had an item that has been rented before and then sent back to you? All right, the second item, if you watched yesterday's video, is I was talking about this one. I actually listed it right after we got off of there, and it sold pretty quick. Now, I got to admit, I put this one just a couple bucks under value to see if I could sell it really quick so I could show you how I package this thing. And I think at the end of this video, we'll put the camera up there and we'll shoot down and I'll show you how I package this thing. Hopefully, it's going to go priority mail. And a lot of times, these will go priority mail if you do calculated shipping. People are like, really? You going to send that priority mail? Yes, if it's going to somewhere nearby, and I offer priority mail as a calculated shipping option because some people take it. And this one probably will if it's nearby. Looking at the sale, it was $26, and the total out the door after taxes was $38.76. So I can almost guarantee you it's going priority mail, and I can almost guarantee you it's going somewhere nearby. So we'll talk about that when we actually pull up the shipping. This is what I talked about. I always put the AV cables on the cord, and if I have a remote, I'll rubber band those to it as well, so I don't accidentally forget to put something into the box. But we'll let you take a look at that in a few minutes when we do the shipping at the end. This is a Fleet Eneman. So everybody who watches this show has been subscribed for a while, has seen us sell many of these Fleet Enemans. And I actually had a video. I've been selling these things for a long time. I occasionally find them around where I live, but I never have sold hundreds and hundreds. I've bought some bulk buys before as I find them, and I've bought like 20 at a time before and have made pretty decent money on them. But I had a chance to buy 1,500 of these, and I made a video about it, and I bought 1,500 of these. And we have been selling them slowly but surely, actually pretty quickly at times, a lot of them going to viewers. Not all, but a lot of them going to viewers. I used to sell, I'd easily sell 15 to 20 of these every Christmas season. This year we sold over 100 of them, probably 70 to viewers. At any rate, this is going out to a viewer, and this viewer asked me for the deal on it. If you send me a message, if you go to the link in the description, send me a message and say, hey, I'm a viewer. Can you give me one for 10 bucks? And then I'll reply with a $10 offer. And that's what Lisa did. Lisa says, thank you so much. Blessings to you and yours. So Lisa, same to you, and thank you so much for buying it. We hope this brings you great luck in reselling. All right, here is a Sony Discman. I'm not going to take it out. It's got a little glare there. And this is an ESP2 Groove. Had a few scratches and nicks. I almost didn't pick it up. I'm like, yeah, I don't know if I want to get that. But it was $1. And I figured, you know what? If nothing else, I'll be able to sell the adapter for it, even if it doesn't work. And I tested it, and it works. And it has a tiny chip in the back right here, so I decided that I'd list it pretty cheap, and I sent it out there for 11 bucks. And it took a long time to sell, I gotta tell you. It took quite a while to sell, even at that low price. But it does work. It does not have headphones. And if you have the original headphones with these, they go for, almost double sometimes. So it's something to look out for. If you're debating about a price, if it's got the headphones and it's in good shape, go ahead and grab it. This one sold for 11 bucks, so I'm only making about 9 on it. All right, I do sell clothing. I am not the master of clothing by any stretch. I usually undersell the market by $1 or so because I don't go through the trouble with a shirt like this. I don't do measurements on it. It's just a Ralph Lauren XL. I just put it out there the way it is. I don't do the measurements. If somebody asks me, I've got my little rack of clothes up here. I got another one there. I'll pull it down and do it real quick and give them a measurement at times. But because I'm not making much money on it, I want somebody who already owns this exact type shirt to buy it, and they already know the size, they already know it's going to fit. And I surprisingly have very few returns on clothing, even though I don't measure everything out. I do measure some things that are fitted and certain jackets and things like that, but a lot of things I just won't measure. And this one sold for $17.10. And it was probably a Blue Ridge Mama buy from Goodwill, even though I don't see the little hole where the tag goes. So I might have picked this up for $1 or $2 at a yard sale, in which case I'd make $10 on it. If it was a Goodwill buy from Blue Ridge Mama, we'd make about $8. All right, this was a fun buy, and these are things I've sold many times before. This is one of my favorites, actually. This is a Hickory golf club. This one's a putter. And actually, this one's not the putter. I take it back. This one is some kind of an iron, and a lot of them have different names like Mashy and Niblick and stuff like that. And this one doesn't. This is a Morristown one, and you'll find the Morristown ones out there once in a blue moon, and I like them. And another way you can, sometimes this area right here is, I don't know if you can even see that. You can see right there it says Morristown. But this one's hard to see. Some of them are a little easier, but some of them are so worn down and rusted you can't see it at all. And so one place you can look is right here below where the grip would be, if I can find it, right there. And I don't know if you can see there, it says Morristown right there. And so those are decent brands. A lot of these you can't tell at all. They're just a hickory piece of wood. Well, some have grips, some don't, but they're really neat. And you can sell them in sets. And the putters, there's a lot of putters that are worth quite a bit of money, depending on if you get the right one or not. And this one didn't sell for a ton. It sold for $18 plus shipping. And I bought this one at a sale that I had a great time at, but I have not aired it yet. A student of mine who knows I do what I do told me in class, and then I talked to their mom, and we went over and did a private pick, and I bought some cool stuff. Got 2 of these and a bunch of other stuff. I'm not going to make a killing off of that yard sale, but I'll make a decent amount of money once everything is sold. And I bought 2 things that you will see out in the Commonwealth cabin. I bought some 1942 foot lockers, which are pretty cool. And I think I'm going to keep them and not sell them in the antique booths. I think we'll keep them and put them out there in the Commonwealth cabin, use them for storage. And that video, when I do finally get it together and air, probably won't be on Commonwealth Picker. I'll probably put it over there on Commonwealth Flipper. I haven't decided yet, but sometimes private picks we put over there on that channel and we keep off of this one. Speaking of that sale, I bought an ab roller, or excuse me, I bought an ab lounge from that sale. The blue ab lounge. I think it's an ab lounge 2. There's an ab lounge sport. There's a regular ab lounge. And they're blue. They're giant chairs. I know a lot of you have seen them. And you basically do crunches in them. Well, they have 2 bungees on them. So you can buy those things. If you live in a populated area, you can flip those on Facebook Marketplace. I couldn't flip one here to save my life. There's just not enough people around here. And they don't have enough money to pay top dollar for it anyways. So what I do is I part it out. And you can part it out one of 2 ways. You can either just take the 2 bands off of it, or you can take the bands and the little screws. If it's an ab lounge 2, it has little screws. Or you can take the whole thing apart and take the canvas and sell the canvas. So I usually store them away and I take the canvas off all at one time. I do like an assembly line in the middle of the summer. I sit out there underneath my tree and I get my lemonade and I got my tools and I listen to the radio and I just spend an hour or 2 and I get 5 or 6 of those things off of there and I'll sell them. I'll list them all and sell them all at once. But these I immediately take off, and the screws I immediately take off, and I list them because they sell quickly. This one sold for $22. $22 free shipping, I think. So I paid $5 for the machine. There are 2 of these, and this is the cheaper of the 2. So you figure you'll make about $15 on this one, $16 on the other one, $4 on the screws. You're going to end up making about $31 profit if you just go the easy route for dismantling that thing. Somebody commented the other day in the video that they were at Goodwill and saw one and they didn't buy it because it wouldn't fit in their car. So here's a little trick for you. And some of them will do it, some won't. I've been in a Goodwill before and I'll see those, and if it's cheap enough, if it's $5, $6, $7, maybe even $8, I suppose 10 if you don't mind working a little bit for some money, I'll say, hey, I'll buy this thing, but all I want is these bungees and these screws, and I'm going to take it and leave it here. Is that okay? And I've had a couple Goodwills say no, and a couple Goodwills say yes. One time I actually took the machine, took it apart, and I redonated. Didn't take it apart. I just took the bungees, the screws off of it, and redonated it. And I thought, you know what, that's maybe giving them a little too much trouble. So I've decided to now just either ask, or I bring a wrench and a screwdriver with me, and I take the thing apart and throw it in my car, drop it off on, at the metal recycling, at the dump on the way home. So there's a bunch of different ways you can do it. But these things will sell, not for amazing money, but if you can take these things off the machine and discard the machine and make 30 bucks, I mean, how easy is that? All right, we had another Eneman sell, and this one sold for $12.81, which is full price, and there's no comment here, so I don't think this is to a viewer. However, I always, just in case it is, Evie is the name. So Evie, if you're a viewer, thank you so much, and if you're not a viewer, thank you anyways. All right, here's one of those other, we've been talking about parting out a lot lately. If you've been watching the show, you haven't seen a lot of these parting out type things very often, but as it gets deeper into the winter and I get deeper into my acorns, deeper into my death pile, that I store up all summer and fall from the yard sales, and now I'm selling. Thrift stores, there's no more garage sales around here. I'm just selling. And I usually try to sell as much as I possibly can before the weather gets warm again, and then we start the process all over again. So this was from a machine that was pristine, a New Wave Oven Pro, but it had a loose heating element, and I didn't want a chance selling that thing. And so we decided to part it out. And this one, I paid $5 for the whole machine. This dome off of it sold for $24.81 plus shipping. So the dome paid for everything, gave us a profit of about $16 after fees, maybe $17, and we still have parts and parts to go. So including a bag that it came in. So I like that sale. And if the heating element worked, that would sell sometimes for about the same price as this plus shipping. So that would be a good one too. This one is a Creative Memories Collection Safari Black pages, scrapbook pages, and these two sold for $21.95 plus shipping. And if you're new to the show, I track yard sales here, and there's 3 particular sales right now that we're tracking. The first one we're tracking is called the Happy Little Accident, and if you want to go back and check that one out, you can. Sometimes I put the link, sometimes I forget, but if you type in Commonwealth Picker Happy Little Accident, there'll be a couple videos that pop up. And Blue Ridge Mama took care of everything from that yard sale. That was Creative Memories. And we're getting down to the nitty-gritty on these. We spent $200 on everything we bought at that yard sale, and we bought a bunch. So I decided to track it, and we spent $200. That's what the buy was, and we've been tracking the profits ever since, and we'll let you take a look at how much we made so far. All right, there are pages and pages of these. They're all sitting down here because this is getting a little clogged up. But the $200 buy, this one got added in. That's a $14 profit. It sold for $22, but we have to pay for fees and shipping, and it'll be about 12 ounces. So I estimated a profit of $13. It's going to be anywhere between $13.50 and $14.25, but I put $14 in our total sales from that $200 buy, $2,269 so far. So we've made $2,069 so far on that sale. Go back and check it out. The other 2 yard sales that we track are, I call them the Plush Nirvana sale, even though that's not what the yard sale was called. If you go back and look at, there's a yard sale video, a garage sale video that has a My Pet Monster on it, and it's like the 80s garage sale. If you go back and check that out, you'll see all of the plush that we bought at that yard sale, My Little Pony, all kinds of stuff. And then the other one is called the Lost and Found yard sale, and it's not, or not even yard sale, it's called the Lost and Found golf course buy. It was a private pick, it was a purchase that I made from a golf course. That one is over on Commonwealth Flipper, and we're checking to see how much we make off of each individual sale to see if that kind of thing is the right thing to do in the future. Is it better to just hunt and to pick individual items that you know are high ROI, low work items? So anyways, let us know what you do out there, if you do any of the stuff we do, if there's anything that you do that works well for you that you're willing to share. And don't forget to hang around and watch me package this VCR, which reminds me of something. Bearded Picker, if y'all know Bearded Picker, he did a great video just a couple weeks, maybe a week or 10 days ago, about how to pack a VCR, and he's funny as all get out. So go over there and check his video out too and see if he does anything different than me. I think I already watched it, so we're pretty similar. He does one thing slightly different, and I think I'm going to ship this in a priority box, and he didn't. I don't know if he shipped it priority or not. Probably didn't, but for the most part, he ships it just the way I do. So go over there and check out that video and tell me if there's anything different. We really appreciate you being here, and hang around for that shipping, and we'll see you next time. I have my assistant here. You want to wave to him? I got Reagan, my assistant here, and I'm going to talk you through how I cut the box down to ship a VCR if I'm doing priority mail, which is probably less than half the time, but this one's going priority mail. So I'm going to show you how I cut down a 7 box, and then after that we'll speed it up and put some music to it and let you get out of here. All right, so first obviously you got to tape the box up. Reagan's going to help me in just a minute when we start packaging it. She's going to help me with some brown paper. You tape one box, and then you cut one side out of it. You learning how to do this, sweetie? Yeah. You gonna package for me someday?
Yep.
You take one side out of it, and then you do pretty much the same thing, except for you leave one of the flaps. These are number 7 boxes that you can get for free from USPS. Okay, and I usually cut this flap off right here as well. We'll recycle those and use them again. Probably use them when we package the rest of this thing up. So what you have here is a box that'll get bigger and get smaller based on how big the VCR is. And it's 8 inches tall. We're not going to need 8 inches, so we may end up cutting that down. Although, I'll check the specs, and if it's not too big, then I'll just pad the top. Sometimes an inch can make a big difference with one of these VCRs. And I have a feeling, because of how long this one is, it might have to do that. All right, we're going to put this on fast forward and let you listen to some music and watch how I ship it.